This afternoon, I'll talk to you about the development of a new high-grade gold district we call the Hyundai Gold Project. Our standard disclaimer. We view the company as having three pillars: people, growth, and value. The team that's involved in the discovery and the development of the Bayan Hyundai project have been together for over a decade. We're an experienced, passionate group of explorers, developers, and financiers that are dedicated to bringing significant returns to our investors. On the growth side, after 30 years as a geologist in this business, I can't say I've seen more potential than we see in the Bayan Hyundai district. It's just been a tremendous success since we made the first discovery there 5 years ago, tremendously high grades. And we now have a team that's demonstrated discovery ability in this area. On the value side, which we really kind of view as the foundation, we have the Bayan Hyundai project that's just been through the bankable feasibility study. It's a near surface, 100% owned gold deposit, unique in its high grade. And that's what's really special about this district, is being able to find grades like we have at surface. 3.7 grams per ton is the average grade, so better than 3 times the average grade of open pit gold deposits globally. Our plan is to move that into production in early 2022, starting with 60,000 ounces, but we really do see this as a foundation for growth, where we have a multitude of opportunities to grow these assets. We're located in the Central Asian orogenic belt in southern Mongolia, an unexplored portion of a giant gold and copper belt. The Central Asian orogenic belt hosts some of the world's largest gold deposits: Morintal, Kumtor, and Oyu Tolgoi. Although you don't hear much about it, this greater district in China and Russia actually has about 25% of the world's gold production coming out of it, double what we see coming out of North America. So a bit of a sleeper in terms of the gold production in this region, but we truly are in a tremendously rich belt that's seen limited exploration. After many years of exploring Mongolia, we've focused in on southwestern Mongolia in an area we call the Transalpine Terrain, which you can see in the darker green in the southwest portion of the Gobi Desert. We have dedicated years and millions of dollars to good, methodical regional exploration. These discoveries started with Landsat imagery down to boot and hammer, and we've made these discoveries in areas that have never seen modern exploration. Today, we've defined 3 deposits and a multitude of greenfield discoveries in an area that 10 years ago was considered remote and infrastructurally challenged, but today, as you can see in this map, there's been massive growth in both the infrastructure and in the mining services side of the business in this region. So let me first look closely at the value. We have 5 licenses, 3 of them are mining licenses, and on those we have 3 deposits and multiple greenfield discoveries. Limited exploration throughout the entire area. Our focus today and through the feasibility study has been on the Bayan Hyundai deposit you see in the south, and that deposit hosts 409,000 ounces in reserve at 3.7 grams per ton. It's a relatively flat, gently rolling area, limited population in this area. It's the least densely populated province in Mongolia. So an ideal location to open up the initial pit at Bayan Hyundai. You can see it here in cross section. The mineralization comes to surface. You can see some of those grades we see in the deposit underneath that section. So 6-7 grams at over 30 meters is not uncommon in this deposit. Very good recoveries, 93%. It's a simple ore, no deleterious material. And because of the high grades, we're able to produce a significant amount of gold, 64,000 ounces, from a relatively small plant at 1,800 tons per day. You can see that plant site layout on this image. It's a pretty conventional crush grind CIP plant with a dry stack tailing in an integrated waste facility you can see off to the right. The feasibility study we issued in July, you can see the outcomes of that, but strong returns with modest capital. We have a $1,400 base gold price for this study, and it generated an NPV of $100 million US. The return is very strong at 42% with a rapid payback, less than 2 years. A low all-in sustaining cost at $733, and as I mentioned, a modest capital at $59 million US. The production schedule you can see on this page, and you'll see that we've brought grade forward in the early years, and we're pushing that 3.7 average up to 4.3, so we can bring that cash flow into the early years of operations, and in fact hit 77,000 ounces. You'll see when I come back to the exploration upside that we feel there's some additional production we can potentially bring to this and perhaps push those numbers up closer to 75 to 80,000 ounces as we bring in some of the high grade areas we've recently intersected. Very strong cash flow in this deposit. The brown columns are the base case at 1,400, but you can see at $1,800 gold, which is the blue columns, we're running close to $50 million a year in free net cash flow in this project. That's demonstrated again on this slide where you can see the NPV effectively doubling from 1,400 to 1,800, and similarly the IRR exceeding 80% at current gold prices. We have a rapid development timetable. Since we've delivered the feasibility, we've moved directly into the construction permitting, upgrading our construction camp. We're into the detailed engineering for both the process plant and the non-process infrastructure. By next spring, we'll be into the heavy lifting on the civil works with full plant construction throughout 2021 and targeting first gold in 2022. Now let me flip over to the growth side of this equation. We, as I mentioned, have 5 licenses. We're focused currently on 3 target areas with an 18,000 meter drill program. You see Bayan Khundii in the south, Dark Horse, and Altan Nar. That is where the drilling is currently dedicated, and looking to build upon the resource inventory we currently have, which is displayed in the chart on this page, of over 1 million ounces at roughly 2.5 grams. The initial focus has been on expanding the pit, looking at the low-hanging fruit around the current deposit. As I mentioned, there's 409,000 ounces in that economic pit, but around that there's another 200,000 ounces of inferred material and lower confidence material that we hope to bring forward into the pit as we continue with this drilling. We just announced some results last week, the first results from this program, and we've had some very good hits. We've had up to 20 meters of roughly 4 grams outside of the economic pit at depth in North Midfield. But we've also announced that we've had multiple hits of visible gold in 3 separate areas: Midfield Southeast, Striker Southwest, and Striker West. All of those results are pending. In fact, we have about 8,000 meters in 40 holes that'll be coming out in staggered releases over the next few weeks. One of the very interesting areas we just announced this summer was Midfield Southeast. Exceptional grades at surface. We've had hits of 300 to 500 grams within 30 meters of surface. You can see the broader intervals here of 15 meters of 26 grams, 5.5 meters of 125. And that now has been tested along strike for 200 meters, and we've had 4 additional holes with visible gold that are in the lab. So exciting times on Midfield Southeast. At Dark Horse to the north, about 3.5 kilometers, we have an early stage target we're quite excited about. Similar structural and geological setting to Bayan Khundii. Strong magnetic anomalism along some well-mineralized structures. We have just put 10 shallow holes into these targets for the first drilling, and we're waiting for results on that as well. And finally, in terms of the 3 focus areas, Altan Nar sits to the north. There's already 500,000 ounces sitting in this deposit. It requires significant exploration, and we'll be back up here in November and December. Looking at our projected growth potential, the brown columns here are our current reserve, the 60,000 ounces per year. And the other bars are the various areas I've just walked through with you, but we're targeting getting this project up to 130, 140,000 ounces a year as we move towards 2023, 2024 for that expansion. On the people side, Mongolia is a small population in a large country, very reliant on mining, has a very competitive regulatory regime. Significant growth in the hard rock gold mining industry. You can see on the bottom of the page, Turquoise Hill. Turquoise Hill is going to produce 500,000 ounces of gold next year, just to give you a sense of the size of some of these deposits. We, over last year, have attracted the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, Mongolia's largest foreign investor, with over $2 billion invested as a supporter of our company. We've also become the first cross-listed company on the Mongolian Stock Exchange, with 6,000 Mongolian shareholders. We have a board that I consider second to none, pioneers in Mongolia's modern mining industry. And just to sum things up here, we have a market capitalization of 86 million US. Put that in perspective to potentially $50 million a year in free cash flow. We have $16 million in cash by virtue of the financing we just completed with Eric Sprott, who now owns 14% of the company. Summing up the key reasons to invest, we have an exceptionally high-grade open pit moving towards being shovel-ready this year. We have low capital costs, robust economics, and importantly, we're first mover in a very exciting new district that is with a proven exploration team and an experienced corporate development team. Catalysts for re-rating over the next several months, the drill program, obviously, we have multiple visible gold hits that will be coming out with assays over the next several weeks. We have the Dark Horse prospect where we have the first results, Alton Nar later this year, followed by a resource update early next. And then it's into construction. We have a good line of sight on the project debt financing and first gold in early 2022. So we really bring both of those things investors should be looking for, the foundation of growth with value at the current development and terrific upside on the exploration.